obviously being in a product-based business where you do have to do all of that prototyping, sampling, you're dealing with an international supplier. So, postage times, logistics, all of these things that we're dealing with. What was that process like for you?
I'm going to be really annoying now. It was actually very, very quick because I've done this a
Amazing.
few times.
Okay, no, that's good to know. Good to know.
So I started working probably middle of September on this, on and off, but I was working full time, just in a temp job while I was working out what I wanted to do next. And then, and then I remember it was about November, I started to kind of seriously, this is what I wanted to do. And then, so probably about November, I was talking to the manufacturers and then started applying for TGA approval in December. When I say applying, you have to fill in a form about your company, and there's about 3 million forms. We're still going through TGA approval now, to give you an idea about how long it takes.
Wow.
So, yeah, but we put the official product approval in April. So this would have had a test probably it would have been January, when I got the first sample, and then basically modified it from there. So it was only a couple of months.
Awesome. So that tells me there's a backstory. So have you worked in product development before? So what's the pre-Hoopsy story? How did we get to here?
Oh, there's a lot of different stories, but back in 2004, I started my first business, which was a mobile phone sock cover called Mox.
Oh my God, I love this. Yes.
So completely nothing to do with pregnancy tests or chemistry or anything, but basically I just saw this product on the streets in Bangkok, and the ones I saw were baby socks with the heels sewn in, and you put your phone in them to protect your phone from getting scratched. And I just loved the idea, because at that time you had to buy the specific cover for your make or model of phone, a bit like where we're up to now, but in those days, it was basically, if you had a Nokia, you could get something. If you didn't have a Nokia, you didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And the good thing about these, because they were socks, they stretched, and therefore you could fit them on anything, phone wise. So I had those made in China, and I actually, when I did that, I actually flew to China, met with a number of different manufacturers, and chose who I wanted to go with and stuff. And then I ran that business for 7 years. So I have a lot of experience.
I'm fairly certain that I had a sock for my mobile phone. I'm fairly certain I did. So what did you do with the business?
Well, that was a bad decision. We all have things that we live and learn from, but
oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah. In 2012, I was married and I split up with my husband then. And at the same time, I got an offer on the business to sell it. And at the time I was like, no, I don't want to sell it, because if I sell it, then you'll get the money, and I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway, so I didn't sell it, and it was the wrong decision, and hey ho. So
you know what, who knows what the right decision is ever in any business decision we need to make. So you do live and you learn. But amazing, because now you have that experience in product development to catapult you, and you're going, it took me a couple of months and I already knew what I was doing, already knew how to talk to suppliers, apply for TGA approval. It set you up for the course that you're on now.
Definitely. I mean, the other thing with that business is I sold into retail stores in Australia and in the UK, and exported to other countries across the world, and sold online. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. So yeah, you're right. It was just my training wheels for this one.
Oh, totally. I mean, I'm like the biggest supporter of the idea that you don't just come out of the gate with the brilliant business idea that is amazing. The story to get there is, the career, the 1,200 failed businesses, the this, the that, you kind of have to go through that process of learning all of the ins and outs of business, whether it be, something to do with product development, whether it be scaling, whether it be hiring people. You're always going to make some kind of mistake in business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that did really help in terms of, I guess the harder thing about this business and this product is the fact that it is a medical device and therefore requires regulatory approval, even though you're not eating it or anything. So that does mean the speed to market is a bit longer. So when you look at my Australian, so I was lucky in that the factory that I went with, they already had CE approval on the product. And so that covered Europe and the UK, but it didn't cover Australia. So that's why I started doing the Australian process. But it meant that, and then I got fed up of waiting when I realized how long Australia was going to be. And so then I launched in the UK first. So we launched there in July, which confuses the hell out of people because, so you're a UK company? No, I'm an Australian company. But you're in the UK and not in Australia. Yeah, I know. It's, yeah.
I know, gotta love that. But I mean, that's, you know, a really interesting lesson, right? You know, as an entrepreneur, if a roadblock comes up, you know, what's the way around it? You know, so if Australia's going to take longer, go somewhere else first. I actually love that, right? Like roadblocks come up all of the time, and it is just about adjusting and changing and figuring out another way.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess part of it was that, but part of it was that I was fed up of doing these dead end jobs to earn enough money to just basically to fund living while I developed the business. And so part of my sneaky plan was I've got a family in the UK. So I rented out my place here and I stayed with my brother and his family for 4 months.
I love that. Yes.
Rent free. I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor and I said, this has got to be like the next unicorn. I want a mattress on the floor.
You're like, you know, the story's there.
Yes.
I've got all the building blocks.
Exactly. And then my sister-in-law would say, like, we watched We Crashed, you know, that TV.
Yeah.
She went, Lara, when they make the documentary about your business and your life, they're going to be filming in our house. They're going to be filming this room.
That's so good. I mean, I love setting the bar high, right? Unicorn, dreams from the start. That's so good.